like it. Well done. Look at you.
All right.
Beer's hat, and the mullet.
Yeah, what's going on here?
I do have a mullet.
Beautiful.
Mullet season. All right. So episode 15 now. Tim, you've been surviving with me for 15 episodes.
Hold on. Before we get freaky into this,
For
there's
fuck's
one
sake.
thing I wanted to ask. So, all right, does anyone use the ESPN live draft trends? Like that's like an ADP, right?
No idea.
I don't know.
You ever see this?
Oh yeah, Yahoo has that same thing. It's like just I think they have a trending thing.
Okay, so it's like an ADP, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't use ESPN because I'm not a loser.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, my one league, our league I run is ESPN, and then the other league I'm in is Yahoo. So
Yeah,
I have no ESPN leagues anymore. All Yahoo and Sleeper.
I like
Sleeper.
Yahoo, but I'm so used to ESPN's like look that it's like I'm fine with it. So
Yeah. I mean, have you tried Sleeper? It's like a new fantasy football app. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. All my leagues just switched over to it besides Billy's.
what's it called?
Sleeper.
Sleeper.
Yeah,
Gotta get that plug.
it's great. Big fan.
Yeah. All right, now that I've really interrupted, we can go again.
All right, Tim, you can introduce us because I've tried it 3 times now. So
All right, so fantasy football time, episode 15.
ooh,
Getting into it. This will hopefully help me in my draft next week. Josh,
you're gonna rewatch this episode. Give yourself knowledge that you gave to yourself.
Yeah, never hurts.
Well, see, I'm at a disadvantage here because Tim's going to know all my picks now.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Full
He has no picks.
Hey, don't worry about me. You worry about your own picks. All right. Well, so guess always first. Josh, give me your first, your initial thoughts. What's your strategy since I draft right behind you at third?
Yeah, so I'm in a bunch of leagues in fantasy. I'm in like 4 leagues, and I have my overall pick is between like 3, 4, and I have 8 and 9. So I'm really all over the place. And when I have an earlier pick, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. You got the big dogs up top, CMC, Zeke, and Barkley, but I'm picking 4. So I don't really want Kamara. I mean, I'll get to it later, but I don't think he's going to have a very good year at all. So I think you got to go running back because the running backs fall off after the second round. Like you go from like at the second round, like Mixon, Drake, and like Miles Sanders, but then you got like Leonard Fournette, Le'Veon Bell, David Johnson, guys that like you don't really want to be your best running back. So you got to get that RB1 and you got to get him quickly. And when you're dealing with the back.
I agree with you on the running back part, which is actually interesting. So one of my biggest things is where are you taking a quarterback and a tight end? Because obviously I feel like they're super top heavy. Would you burn a pick? I've had Mahomes the last 2 years. It's my first year without him. No more keeping. But I would love to pop aboard of that all over again if I get him in the second round, or even Lamar. That'd be nice.
Yeah, so that's very league dependent. So if you got a 6-point passing touchdown league, if you want to go for the guys that are going to sling the ball and get a lot of touchdowns, Mahomes is a great second, third round pick. But if you have a normal standard 4-point passing touchdown league, you wait on the quarterback. You really do. I mean, I'd take Lamar Jackson over Patrick Mahomes in a 4-point passing touchdown league. Get 6 for the rushing touchdowns. I'm not one to reach on quarterbacks. I think it is so deep. Ben Roethlisberger's like going undrafted. I mean, I'm not wasting an early pick on a quarterback.
Yeah,
I hear you there. Yeah.
I mean, in the draft me and Tim had last weekend, Tim was auto-drafting because he's an idiot. But
Yeah, I'm sorry. My dictator of a commissioner wouldn't allow negotiations on the draft day. So I ended up getting auto-draft. One of the worst teams I've ever drafted in my fantasy history. I hate it. It's all backups.
anyways, so
Go ahead.
we had, I think it was Saquon went first, and then it was McCaffrey first, then Saquon I think second, and then the guy with the third pick was like, I'm gonna fuck everything. I mean, he took Mahomes, so that was like I was worried there. I thought people were gonna Lamar was gonna be the next pick, but I think Lamar went like 12th. But normally those two shouldn't be going to like the third round or late second. But they're the only 2 quarterbacks that. Even if you take him in the first, like it's fine. Like Lamar, I would go Lamar before Mahomes, but
Yeah, I think that's league dependent though. It's like depending on how your scoring is.
No, I agree with you there. So, all right, let's start it up then. Josh, as a guest, who are your quarterbacks you like as we transition right into that? Because I would take Mahomes or Lamar in the first two rounds for that.
There's no way I'm taking Mahomes.
I think they're head and shoulders better. Like, sure, yeah, it's a deep quarterback group, but like even like Deshaun Watson or like Murray at your 3 or 4, they are a level below Mahomes.
The thing is, like, Lamar last year had like 70 more points than CMC. So Lamar was 70 points ahead of the second place fantasy finisher. So
I know, and I think he's gonna be great again.
Yeah, so I think him and Mahomes, they get the runs. So it's like you can kind of let that be okay to take them. I wouldn't go early first. I feel like the 11th or 12th pick maybe, or your second pick I think is fine for those two. But I took Murray in the 5th round, Kyler Murray, just because that's how the cards fell. I think I had 2 running backs, 2 receivers, and I didn't like who else was on the board, so I was like, I'll take Kyler here. He figures to hopefully be a top 5 fantasy QB, I think, with his running ability. So, I mean, as far as quarterbacks, I think Cam's a solid late pick. Matt Stafford always lights it up.
Stafford's a great pick. He's someone he knows is going to go out there, and if he plays every game, go for 5,000 to 35.
Yeah, no, I like Stafford.
I honestly like Joe Burrow. I think Joe Burrow will have a solid year too.
I mean,
they got weapons.
So, all right. So there's your quiz, Goldberg. Who do you like your quarterback? Who's your go-to guys and your sleepers? Oh no! All right.
Tim, what's your go-to guys and sleepers?
Well, one that we mentioned earlier that I kind of like. I like Ben coming back this year. I think the Steelers in general will be a good team this year. The AFC is pretty much wide open outside of the Ravens.
Yeah.
I think the Steelers are going to be a very good team with that defense, and Ben coming back after missing last year. I like him a lot.
I think the Steelers wide receivers are kind of like all sleepers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like Juju. The way I look at Juju is I liked him going into the year last year, and then Ben got hurt, and nothing's really changed. I think the team's probably got better. The offensive line's still solid.
I mean, Juju's a playmaker, but he needs other playmakers to kind of because he was getting double covered when Brown left, so it's like he didn't really do anything. I could see Ben go. Like you said, Judge, I don't think Ben was even being drafted. So that's the thing with quarterbacks. Like we said, Mahomes or Lamar, first 3 rounds, that's fine. And then I would say Kyler, like 5th, 6th. But then I don't know.
I'm not touching Rodgers, that's for sure.
I wouldn't go Wilson
No.
or Watson until like the 7th maybe.
And then you got Wentz.
And then so like 7th to like 9th is when you kind of can pick those elite fantasy quarterbacks. But I mean, I think I took Aaron Rodgers in like 10th or 9th round just because I already had my starter and there was no one on the board that I really liked. So that's the thing. I'd rather take like someone I can start if Kyler goes down or he has a bye, as opposed to a rookie backup receiver that might not even see the field. So it really just depends on how your team's looking. But you never reach for a quarterback, I would say.
No. I would, yeah. I mean, even taking Mahomes and Lamar, like first, second, your team's going to be rock solid and get those very consistent points every week. But I feel like if you can get 2 running backs in your first 3 picks and use that third on like a good receiver, your team looks so much better than even getting 2 receivers and 1 running back, just because the running backs fall off so quickly and you don't want to be stuck there with, again, Le'Veon Bell as your number 1 running back.
Yeah, Le'Veon Bell's my number 2 running back.
I agree with you there. I do hear what you're saying there, but I feel like when you talk about the safest positions, it's like quarterback compared to running backs and wide receivers. Like, I don't think like Lamar and Mahomes, they're probably like the 2 top 5 players in the NFL where I know they're going to have a good year. Like, I'm very confident.
Yeah.
They're going to have every opportunity. That's without it a given. Doesn't matter who comes out of nowhere and starts playing really well as a rookie, or if they have a couple bad games or whatever, they're going to have every opportunity to succeed. The team goes with them. So I kind of like that. These running backs get hurt a lot. They're very inconsistent. Wide receivers can go on cold streaks. Maybe they get outplayed. their quarterback just keeps going with the hot hand and avoids that big old solid veteran. I think quarterbacks are safe. Give me a top 2 pick and safety and a rock solid superstar. I like Lamar and Pat early.
One quarterback I'm not touching this year, Josh Allen. Nowhere. Don't even think about it.
You hate Josh Allen.
He can't throw.
But he can run, and he can throw, just not accurately.
He was like one of the worst passers in NFL history last year.
Well, yeah, but he's still got a cannon. He can get it from point A to point B. It's just point B keeps moving around, and he probably doesn't even know where point B is when he releases it. All right, so those are the ones we like. Who do you not? You obviously started with Josh
Allen.
Yeah, there's no one really that jumped out at me that I don't like on the quarterback. I think they're like draft. I don't really like Newton. I know.
Rodgers, first and foremost.
Oh yeah, Rodgers. I'm not a huge.
They didn't do anything for him. He has no weapons.
The thing with drafting a fantasy quarterback is you cannot draft based on who they are as a player. Like if Aaron Rodgers you think is the best quarterback in the NFL, it doesn't matter. He's not the best quarterback in fantasy. The whole different, analysis of what to look at. So yeah, I agree. Don't take Rodgers early. And the thing is, so this is why quarterbacks are usually this is why people say take quarterbacks later in rounds. Here's some numbers right here. So 1 to 10, the top 10 fantasy football performers last year, there is one running back, and it's Christian McCaffrey in the top 10. The rest are quarterbacks. You got Lamar, Dak Prescott, Jameis Winston, Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, Patty Mahomes, and Carson Wentz are in the top 10. And they're all very close. And even the people after them are all really close in points. So, if Phillip Rivers had 255 fantasy points and he was in 19th, and, Mahomes had 291, he had 40 more points. But you're not going to see those kind of gaps when you go with elite running backs and receivers because there's a bigger drop-off. Like all these quarterbacks are Josh Allen had 297, Murray had 297, Mahomes 291, Carson 285, Aaron Rodgers 282. So that's why they say you can get quarterbacks later because there's 32 starting quarterbacks. So they're going to start guaranteed. Running backs rotate in, receivers are in and out the field. It's the positions impact those rankings. So.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I'll give you my one quarterback that I think is a little higher than I would put him is Deshaun Watson. I think because I see him at number 3 a lot, and that's the thing. I would rather burn a first or second round pick on Mahomes or Lamar Jackson if the third guy come on the board is Deshaun Watson. I don't
agree with that.
Deshaun Watson lost his weapons.
He was averaging 22.
They didn't give him any, but they didn't get rid of Devontae Adams.
He was averaging 22 points a game in over 15 games. So good.
I don't love the offense. With Will Fuller cannot stay healthy. I don't know what David Johnson's going to do. He could suck. He could be really good. Who knows? I have literally no expectation.
I'll let you know later my sleepers.
Yeah. Well, yeah. They'll give him listen. They're going to give him every chance to be good because if he's good, then Bill O'Brien can just double bird to everyone that gave him crap on the trade.
I think Drew Lock's a solid sleeper too.
That's who I like. I was going to say him. He's got so many weapons.
Both those receivers, Lindsey
and Hamler
and Gordon.
Yeah, Hamler's. Yeah, they did. They're young, so they got to put it together. I don't know if this is the year they put it together.
They're probably 1 year away still, but
they could take a step forward. I definitely expect a step forward at least.
All right, so moving on from quarterback. So who we liking at running back?
All right, I'll start this one off. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. That's the guy.
Just a little side note on this is me and Josh have argued so much about this. I like Edwards-Helaire. Don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. I'm not really inclined to draft a rookie in the first round.
I agree with Tim.
Just let me get it. So who was the last rookie running back drafted by the Chiefs to get a starting role? His name was Kareem Hunt. So going into the season, Spencer Ware was the starting running back. What happened to Spencer Ware? He tore his meniscus. Kareem Hunt got the starting job, and he was pretty good. I think he led the league in rushing, and he was a third-round pick. This guy, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he was the first SEC running back ever to have 1,000 rushing yards and 50 catches, ever.
I hear you.
First-round pick, Andy Reid. This guy does not use a running back by committee. This guy's going to be on the field the entire time. He's clearly a good receiver. He's clearly a good runner. All they've been doing is raving about this guy. After McCaffrey, Zeke, and Barkley, this is the best running back in the NFL this year. Book it.
I'm not high on Edwards-Helaire just because it's just like every coach and every GM is going to rave about their own players. Like I remember years ago, the Eagles were like, oh, Wendell Smallwood's looking great in camp. He might be the guy.
It's a little different.
Yes, but no, because like Edwards-Helaire's a rookie and he was projected middle rounds until Damian Williams opted out. And now he's like ahead of like Josh Jacobs, Miles Sanders and Eckler and all these running backs that are guaranteed to get you, good points. I'm just not. I need to see his NFL style. I just have
a few questions. Who else is going to get the ball out of the backfield? They're going to give the ball to Darwin Thompson?
Yeah, but
I don't think so.
I'm not saying I would take Edwards-Helaire in like the late second, early third, but I'm not going first.
His ADP is 7 right now.
No, he's not. No, he's a first-round pick. I just don't want to be the one doing it. But Josh, you got another running back that you like Edwards-Helaire?
Yes. Yeah. So
I can't buy into him in the first round. I know he's going to go in the first round. I just don't want to be the one person doing it.
Wait.
Yeah, Joe Mixon. I think Joe Mixon's a stud. He's going to have a great year. Love Joe Mixon. Another running back who does not come off the field. Great receiver, great runner. I mean, improved offense and improved offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this guy is going to be a top 5 running back this year.
I like hearing that because I took him 17th overall. So
that's a great pick.
Yeah.
That's a great pick. I mean, again, I say top 5 running back, but that's going to be at the expense of someone like Alvin Kamara, not going to be a top 5 running back. Dalvin Cook, not going to be a top 5 running back. Derrick Henry is going to be a top 5 running back this year. That guy's he's improved his pass catching. He's going to be a great running back this year.
Dalvin Cook. I'm sorry. Curious. I can buy into the Kamara drop. I think Cook's going to have a great year.
I think they're going to get Madison the ball more.
Really?
What have we known about Dalvin Cook every year? The dude can't stay healthy. They're going to get Madison on the field.
Sure, but he's about to sign a contract, and I think this is the year he might.
Are they gonna give him that contract though?
I think so, because you traded away Diggs. You can't just get rid of 2 offensive superstars on back-to-back seasons.
I mean, I think Alexander Madison could be an offensive superstar. He'd be a really good running back.
No, see, no one else that isn't out of their mind or high on like shrooms thinks he'll be a good player.
I mean, yeah, he's a good player.
Sure, good player, but he's not Dalvin Cook level.
No, he's not Dalvin Cook, but he's definitely way above replacement level.
I think
sure, but
one guy that since you guys are drafting soon, I'll give you a little insight. Zach Moss of the Bills is apparently he might end up being the starter to start the season. So,
what do you say that Devin Singletary is on my bust list?
I will believe in that one too. All right. So who I like? A late round guy, and he's actually my keeper in our league.
Oh.
I like Damian Harris this year. This Patriots team, I think they go back.
I like him. I don't like the Patriots running backs because I've had Sony Michel 2 years in a row. 1 year he was amazing. The last year he was terrible.
See, here's my thing. Hear me out. Sony Michel's year when he was good, when they won the Super Bowl, they decided to be a run-heavy team. Bill knew that was the best way to win was to run the ball. They had a great offensive line. Trent Brown was still on the team. You had Thuney, Shaq Mason. The offensive line's good this year if it's healthy. I think it all comes together. They go back to running the ball. He knows Cam Newton is a health risk every time he plays. Run the ball heavy with your running back like you did when you won the Super Bowl. You have Michel who, could bounce back. He's hurt. He came back now. But I think Damian Harris is better than him. I think he's a better runner.
Well, he is better.
He's a big, powerful runner that will run, in between the tackles behind 2 all-pro offensive guards. I think he redshirted last year. He was on the team, didn't play much at all. But I think this year he takes the step. Alabama running back. They're smart. They dominate. I like him a lot.
What about James White though?
Yeah, but James White's not going to run the ball. He'll catch the ball.
So Damian Harris will not catch the ball.
Doesn't need to, honestly. I let him be the number 1 back on that Patriots team. Let him run some play option with Cam Newton.
I just don't think he's going to play enough to be a big factor. You got Burkhead. They like giving him the ball. They have Michelle. It's not like they're not going to use Michelle. I mean, they just signed Lamar Miller. I don't think Miller is good, obviously. He's very boring. He's not a sexy pick at all.
I don't think Lamar Miller makes the team. And
I don't think so either, but I think they're going to give the ball to Burkhead.
Sure, but I'm not worried about Burkhead. I think Harris gets enough snaps, and I think the running game's going to be really well. I think what you're going to have is what the Patriots were, obviously without Tom Brady, but when they won the Super Bowl, they just ran the ball. Sonny Michel had a great year, but Harris is a better runner. The offense line, I expect to be good this year, and I think they're going to change up the offense than what it normally been.
I think you're right that they're going to run the ball more, but they're even more of an example of what I was trying to say about the Chiefs, where Belichick will literally sub in a different running back for every drive. So, you can't count on –
Well, that's what I mean. He has no commitment to Michelle. This guy – I know Michelle was a first-round pick, and he was a stud, and you won a Super Bowl with him. But you know what? It's Bill Belichick. I'll move on to the next guy really quick. And I think Harris – all I've heard is he's balled out in camp while Michelle's been hurt. But considering how late you're getting him, I'm keeping him in the 12th.
He's not that late anymore.
Yeah, he's moving up.
He's like 8th round now.
I'm keeping him in the 12th, so that's why I like him. But, all right, Dakota, who do you like in running back?
Like I said, Zach Moss of the Bills. I think there's a couple younger guys I like J.K. Dobbins of the Ravens. I think he'll get a good amount of carries. Maybe not to start the season, but I think eventually he'll be splitting time. Jonathan Taylor of the Colts, solid, and Cam Akers of the Rams I also like. So
I like Taylor. I think he beats out Mac.
They're going to give the ball to Mac. It's Reich.
Sure, but I think Taylor will be leading by the end of the year. And
did I draft him?
Jonathan Taylor is going to end up with more carries, but I think Mac. They're both going to max out around 12 to 15 carries per game.
I agree, but I like that offensive line a lot too, and I think that they could sustain two very decent, good fantasy running backs.
So how do we? Hines in.
Yeah, but I'm not worried about Hines.
How do we feel about where you draft Mr. Leonard Fournette?
You don't.
Really?
Yeah. I would not touch him. He's not going to get a starting job.
Yeah.
Now, hear me out.
I would take him second or last pick if he's still there.
He went the 6th round in the other draft I went, after he got.
Hear me out. The team that I think should sign him, and I think I would have a lot of interest in fantasy if they did sign him, would be the Rams. I think the Rams have unproven running backs. You have probably a rookie starter this year. McVay, if one thing I know about his offense is that it runs through a running back. The decline from when his offense was leading the league and dominant to the just steep fall off the cliff they've experienced correlates exactly with Todd Gurley. He fell off, and the offense runs through the run game, the play action game, and that's how the wide receivers get open. Outside of Todd Gurley, the whole offense is the same from when they were dominating. Goff's there, Woods there, Cooper Kupp's there. I think they need a legit running back to kickstart that whole offense again and take that Todd Gurley.
No, they have Cam Akers. He's really good.
I like Fournette better than Cam Akers. You're talking about a rookie.
Talk about contract situation. I'd rather have Akers on a rookie contract than bring in Fournette to sign him.
1-year deal. Just give him a 1-year deal. He probably.
Yeah, but why would you bring him in for a 1-year deal when you can just give Akers the ball more, have him develop?
Because he's still a rookie. You don't want to rely on just a rookie taking bulk share of your carries. Rookie running backs are the only ones that kind of are effective in their first season. Yeah, but Todd Gurley would get 30 touches a game when the Rams and McVay's offense were really clicking, and he would dominate. And that's what started up the whole offense. It made it easier for Jared Goff. Jared Goff's not a quarterback to just do it on his own. He needs almost like the Tannehill situation is the perfect offense around him. You need to get a running back who can handle a ton of carries every game, and I think Fournette can.
From a fantasy perspective, there's 2 good situations he can go to: the Patriots or the Dolphins. Anywhere else, there's nowhere else he's going to get the ball a ton.
Rams fan, I'm just telling you, it makes too much sense.
All right, yeah, fair.
My sleeper signing.
So the opposite of that, some busts that these are players I hope play well, but I just can't see it. Todd Gurley for one.
Yeah, I have that.
Stay healthy. David Johnson, I wish would return to how he used to be because I had him that year he went off.
I think
I have David Johnson as a sleeper. I think he's going to be good.
Really?
I
don't trust the Texans.
No, but he's going to
get. I don't either, but he's a good player. He was bad last year, but through the first 6 weeks last year, he looked good. He was playing really well. He just got hurt.
It just depends on where
he's going to have every chance. After you trade DeAndre Hopkins for him, he's going to get every opportunity.
He's also getting paid.
That's also true.
Yeah. Those two. And then I'm still not high on James Conner. I don't
No,
know.
I'm off James Conner. He just gets hurt every year.
Yeah. Goldberg, who do you got as some bust there?
Some busts? Okay. So, yeah, I got you. So, Le'Veon Bell, first and foremost. This Adam Gase guy is an absolute moron. He doesn't know. It's not Bell. I'm not saying Bell's a bad player. I think he's in an awful situation. He's already talking up Frank Gore. Like, what the fuck are you doing? This guy's 40 years old. Like, you have Le'Veon Bell. You just paid him a ton of money. Get him on the field and get him the ball.
I agree, but you know how Gase is a really bad at calling plays and being an NFL coach. He might give Gore the ball more than Le'Veon Bell.
They already been talking about like a 75-25 split of the carries. Not even like a passing down, just the carries.
Yeah, because that makes sense.
Well, I didn't like – so I went this is part of my draft strategy. I think first 3 rounds you have to go – honestly, first 4 rounds you need to go running back, receiver, running back, and then receiver or elite tight end. And 4th round, I didn't like – I was picking 8th, I think. I wasn't liking who was there, and Le'Veon Bell was just sitting there. I was like, if they can just get it together, he could be – like I heard he was doing really well in the offseason. He put on some muscle. He said he's feeling great. It's just a matter of whether they give him the ball enough. So I took Lev Bell in the 4th round, which I think that's still a good spot for him. He could put up – because he catches and, runs the ball. So –
yeah, but I just don't have faith in the Jets. Like Josh said, it's not anything against Le'Veon Bell. I do think he's still a really good running back. Yeah. The Jets are such a bad team, and they just are going nowhere. Like
they improved their offensive line. They got better. They got some weapons. They got Denzel Mims. He's really good. Probably not a big year this year, but I think he's a hell of a draft prospect and a really good NFL player in the future. It's probably when Gase leaves, but I think he's going to be a really good player.
One other running, and this one pains me, but I don't think he's gonna be a bust. I just like with Hilaire, I would not take him in the 1st round. I still think he's gonna have a solid year, but just with the system and everything, nothing Doug Peterson has showed me in the last couple of years is that his offense is suitable or a thriving opportunity for a number 1 fantasy running back.
I agree. Miles Sanders is not a late 1st, 2nd round pick.
I think he's going to have a good year. I do. But I don't think he's going to get enough opportunities. I hear a lot about his receiving yards last year, and he did do really well, and I think he's a great receiving option. But you got to also factor in that was because our whole team fell apart.
They didn't have any receivers.
Yeah. I think he will play a part in the receiving game, but I just think naturally, unless they all get hurt again, which who knows with this team, I don't think he's going to see the targets. The fact that you lost Dillard and Brooks already also kind of brings the whole wagon down on the Eagles' entire run game. So, well, I do think he still has a good year. I just definitely think Boston Scott will make a presence.
Even Corey Clement's healthy, and he's looking.
Yeah, Clement, I think will have. And Doug Peterson he's always been a committee guy.
He's a rotating guy. Yep.
Yeah, and he always rotates them. It doesn't matter, he just keeps the ball moving.
He saw the formula. He won the Super Bowl. He's not going to change it up now.
Of course, and it's not nothing against it. It works really well, and their offense, their running offense would be, from a fantasy perspective, would be great for a number 1 running back if they just all put all the targets into one guy.
I mean, fantasy-wise, I still have him as like a top 12 running back for fantasy. Like I would take him over like Kenyon Drake or maybe even Austin Eckler.
I would take him over Eckler. I wouldn't take him over Drake.
Like I would go like I would probably take Nick Chubb over, even though he doesn't get as much receiving. But he's still going to get the running and touchdowns. Aaron Jones, who knows with the Packers? Especially
that's one we should talk about.
They drafted a running back.
Let's talk Aaron Jones. So Aaron Jones, I can't put an early 1st, 2nd round draft price tag on this guy. I mean, LaFleur, all he says is how much he loves Jamal Williams. Yeah. And Jamal Williams is probably the most boring running back in the NFL. The dude can block. Okay, you're gonna take out like a dynamic runner. Like everyone loves Aaron Jones. Aaron Rodgers loves Aaron Jones. This guy's got to be on the field like 85% of snaps, and they just love to put in Jamal Williams for drives at a time. It's like, come on, guy. Like Aaron Jones is a stud.
Second round, I think is still good for like mid-late 2nd.
Yeah,
I think he's still gonna get. He's like last year. So he's gonna get you. He's gonna have touchdowns.
19 touchdowns last year.
There's gonna be some regression though. He not scored 19 touchdowns again.
So I mean, they did draft Dillon too, which was another
He's not even good. I don't understand why they drafted Dillon.
I don't. Because he's like the same thing as Aaron Jones.
No, Aaron Jones is like explosive. Dillon's like a plotter.
Well, yeah, but like it's not really like you can put them both on the field and they can do different things and make it work in some way.
Yeah, neither of them are good receivers. I don't get it.
Yeah. No, I could take him late second just because I think he's still going to get opportunities. But especially there, I like who I like. You can get later. You mentioned him. I do like Eckler. I had Eckler in fantasy last year, and I had Melvin Gordon, and Eckler was amazing.
Yeah,
up until Melvin Gordon came back.
I wouldn't take
He was like RB2, yeah.
I don't love the Chargers this year. Especially with the
Really?
news of Derwin James getting hurt.
That's
Getting hurt. It's Herbert's rookie year.
he's not going to start though.
Taylor might even play. They trade away their left tackle. Like, I don't think this is going to be a great year for them. I think they're going in the right direction. I think Herbert could be a good quarterback, but anyone that it's going to. I think Allen and Eckler will be able to put up some junkyard or junk time stats too. Junk time, junkyard, same thing.
All right. Are we good with
on
running back? Should we move on to
Yeah, we can move on.
I got one more name. What do you guys – so I want to talk about the Dolphins' backfield. Matt Breida.
I love Breida.
I think if he stays healthy, he's going to – Jordan Howard is going to be, again, maybe like the in-between like the goal line runner and maybe a few other carries. But I think it's Breida's job.
I agree. No, I had Breida last year on my fantasy team. I like him. He's a good player. He's fast. And
He's really fast.
I think that they'll play off each other pretty well. I do think
they're the opposite of each other.
Yeah, I definitely think it's gonna be a committee there. Both of them have health concerns though. I think it's gonna be a committee up until one of them gets hurt. Like I think there's a very good chance at least one of those running backs are getting hurt. Howard and Breida are injury prone.
Well, to flip that too, I think the guy who's still in San Francisco is not gonna be. I don't think he's gonna have a huge year.
Mostert?
Yeah, Mostert.
I like Mostert.
I like him. I just don't. I think
the
Niners are going to regress a little bit. I can't see them.
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
I mean, I think they're going to be fine. Shanahan's just a coach who likes to rotate his running backs. Mostert's not going to see 20 carries a game. He's more of a 12 to 15 guy. You're not going to tell me Tevin Coleman's not going to see 8 to 10 touches a game.
Yeah, I feel like they didn't use Tevin Coleman at all last year. So
yeah, but that running game is so dynamic that you can make something happen with fewer touches.
And I think they used Jerick McKinnon. I mean, they didn't bring him back for nothing.
I mean, we'll see. Well, they gave him a lot of money. He hasn't done anything. You at least want to see him play a little bit. But, all right, wide receivers. Goldberg as the guest. Start us off. What do you like? Who do you like?
Okay. So, obviously, everyone likes Michael Thomas. I don't think that's like a shocker. But I'm really big on Chris Godwin this year. I think Tom Brady likes the slot guys. I think Godwin's going to play outside a bit, but they're going to move him all over. He's going to be a better fantasy receiver and real-life receiver than Mike Evans this year. Brady's not want to push the ball downfield, and that's where Mike Evans' catches really usually come in. Devontae Adams, they don't want to give this guy help at all. They just want to keep throwing Marquez Valdez-Scantling out there and Allen Lazard, and it's like this guy's going to get doubled. He's going to be great, but how much magic can Rodgers pull off with just one receiver? I'm not taking Devontae Adams. Tyreek Hill, this guy's a stud. Take him early, take him often.
Yeah, I like Hill a lot.
Julio is going to still be great. A guy going later than he should is DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, kind of surprising.
I mean, do they think this guy's not going to see 10 targets a game? All Kingsbury does is throw the ball.
Yeah.
But are you saying he's going too early? Where are you ranking him?
I'm taking him above Evans. I'm taking him – I'd probably take him above Devontae Adams.
Sure, yeah. I don't know. I don't think Hopkins really would fall.
I mean, who do you think's going to have a better year this year, Kyler Murray or Aaron Rodgers?
No, listen, I want DeAndre Hopkins. Devontae Adams also has the trouble staying healthy.
No, he doesn't. Adams has the trouble staying healthy.
Oh, yeah.
Hopkins.
No. Trust me, I had Adams last year. I was like, I had Michael Thomas, Devontae Adams duo.
Damn.
It would have been great if Deontay Adams played, more. Well, talking on DeAndre Hopkins, one guy I like as a sleeper, and basically, we all know how the numbers that DeAndre Hopkins put up, but I don't think Brandon Cooks is nearly the wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins is, but he's going to get the target share that DeAndre Hopkins had. Will Fuller can't stay healthy.
I think it's split. If they both can stay healthy. I mean, Cooks is also a big-time injury risk.
I know. You're right about that. But I'm gambling.
A lot of injury risk today.
I think he has a very good year. I think, Watson's got to throw to someone. all the target. Hopkins sees 150 targets a year. They have to go somewhere. I don't think Cook's going to put up.
I think they get split.
Yeah, but
you're also going to see Jordan Akins is going to have a big year. Sleeper alert.
I like Cooks. I think he's for where he's going. I like him in the later round. High upside guy.
You're also going to have a lot of targets going to David Johnson.
Yeah, well,
he'll get 100.
Brandon Cooks is actually one of my sleepers. I think, like you said, Watson's got to throw the ball to someone, and Cook has quietly been a top 15 receiver in fantasy for the last 5. I think it's 4 or 5 straight years.
No, it couldn't be last year though. He had concussions most of the year.
Well, when healthy, he's the top 15 fantasy receiver.
I think Deshaun Watson is good enough to make him elevate his game.
I took him in my draft. I also got, fun fact, I picked 8th, and Michael Thomas somehow was sitting there at 8.
That's crazy.
Yeah, everyone went running back and Mahomes was 1 to 7, and then I was like, I would rather take a running back, but I can't pass on Michael Thomas. So,
all right, question real fast since you mentioned this. How many running backs do you take before Michael Thomas?
It depends who you ask.
What do you mean depends who I ask? I'm asking you.
So McCaffrey, Barkley, Zeke, maybe Kamara.
I don't do Kamara. I probably do Cook though. I think I do 4. I'm a little scarce on Kamara.
Edwards-Helaire.
You're a fool.
So the only one, Michael Thomas, I would say Michael Thomas needs to get drafted between 4 and 6 in your draft. And then after that, it's really that whole round should be running backs besides Thomas, I think.
Yeah, I think 12 out of the first 13 picks should all be running backs.
Yeah, I agree.
I hear that.
Other than Michael Thomas, the receivers really aren't that safe. Tyreek Hill has had injury issues. He's not someone who you expect to go out there and play 16 games.
Yeah, I'm not taking Tyreek Hill.
I agree with you there. I think Michael Thomas by far is the safest wide receiver.
And then Julio Jones, but he's 31 years old.
Yeah, no, I like Julio for that. Yeah, but yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like what I was saying about
species of human.
It's like I was saying about quarterbacks. There's 32 starting quarterbacks. Well, there's always going to be 2 starting receivers on the field. So you're going to have a better chance of grabbing a good receiver than a good running back. So you need to hit on your running back in the first round. And if you don't, you need to get one in the second. So
plus,
I also love the receivers there in the 3rd and 4th round. In my draft I did last week, in the 3rd round I got Amari Cooper. In the 4th round I got Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
That's not bad. I like that. Keenan outside. All right, so who do we not like as wide receivers?
A lot of people are hyping up the Packers receiver Alan Lazard just because he's the second option to Adams. But I watched him play last year, and he looked terrible.
Yeah, he's not good.
That excites me.
Is anyone actually drafting Alan Lazard?
I hope not.
I was going to say, wow, you really picked a stunner here to pick.
No, go look at any ESPN, Yahoo. They're sleepers. He's always on there. I'm like, I don't see it.
I don't know about that.
I think a lot of people are saying Stephon Diggs is going to be a bust, but I think the opposite.
I like Diggs. Yeah,
I'm not touching Diggs.
Really?
I took Diggs in the 6th round.
Well, I can't endorse Diggs and denounce Josh Allen. You just can't do that.
Fair enough. But where he's going, I see him going a lot later than I would want him over DJ Moore, Allen Robinson.
Agreed.
All guys I've seen.
Yeah. That's one I don't like, Allen Robinson.
Yeah, but
I don't like Allen Robinson now.
I think Anthony Miller takes a step forward.
Yeah, I see him on a lot of sleever
lists. I
lists.
just don't like the Bears' offense, to be honest with you.
Foles in there, it still doesn't excite me. I love Foles, but even Foles in there, is he that much better than Mitch Trubisky? Probably, because Trubisky's terrible, but Foles hasn't been good anywhere else.
The line's not very good. There's really no running game. There's no out weapon besides Allen Robinson. And I don't think he's good enough to just be a number 1 shining star on a horrendous offense.
Yeah. I took a couple let me see if I can pull up my draft real quick. I took a couple rookie receivers that I think could potentially I got T. Higgins because you never know with AJ Green how healthy he's going to be. And then Brandon Ayuk with the Niners, I think could also.
Ayuk.
So
I do. Yeah, Ayuk's nice.
If we're talking Laviska Shenault, I think he has one of the best opportunities to produce of any rookie just because they have no one else besides TJ Chark.
Yeah, but I don't want anything to do with the Jaguars.
Nothing. I mean, they're going to be down.
Yeah, but you know what? DJ Shark's another one. I don't want DJ Shark. I know he's a number 1 wide receiver.
I like Shark.
I loved him last year on my team.
What about the Jaguars offense do you like? Like, there's nothing there.
They're going to have to throw the ball.
I get that, but that doesn't mean they're going to do it well.
Look at Blake Bortles. They were always down, and he was always a top 10 quarterback because he threw the ball so much.
Yeah, but I don't remember them ever having any top 10 wide receivers.
Allen Robinson.
I don't want anything to do with anything on the Jaguars.
I don't either, but I would take Laviska Shenault just because I think he could be pretty good.
Fine, I'll take Shenault. It's fine because you can get him later. Chark, I've seen a little higher.
Oh yeah, I'm not taking Chark in the 4th round, obviously, but I'll take Shenault in the 12th or 13th.
Sure, I can get behind that. Rookie, see what he's got.
I mean, he has a really great college tape.
So I'll give you since we've been talking about rookies, one rookie I don't like that I'm hearing a lot of love for is I don't like Michael Pittman on the Colts.
Yeah, I don't trust Colts receivers after I held him, but then after that, it's like
my main thing is I don't think Phil Rivers has anything left.
Yeah, I don't think he's just not a good fit for Rivers. He's a good prospect. He's just not a good fit for Rivers.
Yeah, he's not a good fit for Rivers. He's a big body receiver. I just don't think Rivers is going to be able to get the ball to him. He's not a great route.
He reminds me a lot of Mike Williams, and Mike Williams did nothing under Phil Rivers.
Yeah, exactly. And one guy that was a rookie last year that I like this year, I think A.J. Brown balls out again.
I just took him in the 3rd round.
Did you?
Yeah. He's a stud.
He's a stud.
That was my bold prediction. A.J. Brown, top 10 receiver. Over 1,200 yards and 10 touchdowns.
Okay, all right. Well, let's transfer to that. So that's your bold prediction?
One of them.
To be fair, I didn't really put much stock into I didn't think of a bold prediction yet.
You got some time. So I got one more. When we're talking A.J. Brown, I think we should talk about Deebo Samuel. This guy has wide receiver 1 upside. There's no other receivers there besides Brandon Ayuk, and George Kittle's basically a receiver. But this guy is really fast. He's great at separation. They're going to give him the ball in the backfield. This guy, where he's going, I just got him in like the 15th round because people think he's injured. He's almost back already. He's a stud.
Yeah,
I like Deebo. Deebo's solid.
I got two receivers that I was looking at in my draft that I got. I think it was back to back. Darius Slayton of the Giants, round 10, I think was a good pick. And then round 11, nobody's talking about Deshaun Jackson, but if he stays healthy, we don't know how lethal he could be with Wentz.
He's got to stay healthy.
That first game he had last year was incredible. So, I mean, Jackson's always had good statistics with the Eagles. Now, he's a lot older now, but I don't know. I think if you take him 13, between 12 and 14 rounds,
it's a free pick. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Well, and then he's got a huge ceiling, obviously a very low floor. Mm-hmm. You can't go wrong 12 to 14, 10 to 14, really.
Yeah.
I got one who I think is going to really exceed his draft spot is Odell Beckham Jr.
I hope so. I took him 3rd round.
Am I right, Timo?
I think I'm on. I think Odell's going to have a good year this year coming up.
Yeah, I do.
I think Stefanski is actually a good coach.
He is a good coach.
I love Chubb because I think that offense is going to do well, and Stefanski likes to run the ball first. Dalvin Cook was always his first option on the Vikings. I think Chubb's going to benefit from that, and I think Odell's going to thrive in the step.
I think Baker's going to have a huge year. He's not getting drafted. He's going to be a top 10 quarterback.
We'll see.
I think the Browns do well. I think the Browns do well this year. I think the offense puts together.
And their defense is great. They're going to be in games.
That AFC North is going to be interesting because I think the Steelers have a good year this year. If the Browns can put it together, they got a lot of talent, and the Ravens I expect to be.
And the Bengals, again, revamped offense.
The
Bengals will be better, but they're not going to be talking in that division.
No.
Besides the Eagles, obviously who I'm rooting for, but I'm really pulling for the Browns and the Bengals. I want them to do well. I think the Bengals I'm probably going 5-win season, but I'd love to see them do well, get those fans happy again. And I mean, they haven't had a good year since Carson Palmer and Ocho Cinco.
No, Dalton had back-to-back postseasons.
Dalton made a playoff pop once a couple times.
Dalton is he's a good quarterback. He's just never playoffs weren't his thing. It's just,
Well, you had Burfict out there trying to kill Antonio Brown.
Yeah,
that's true. It's true. That's true.
So what are we feeling about tight ends? It's always a tricky position to draft.
If you can get Kelsey early third, late second, I'm all in.
I think they're kind of like quarterbacks.
You
You take the elite ones early, and then you just kind of pick one eventually.
Yeah.
Who's our number one? Is it Kelsey?
Kelsey.
I would go Kelsey.
I'd agree with you there.
I'd probably go
Kittle.
Kelsey, Kittle, Ertz, Andrews for top 4 there.
Yeah. And then who I think is going to sneak into the top 5, obviously not getting drafted as a top 5 tight end, but Hayden Hurst.
Yeah,
Someone's got to pick up the slack for Hooper, and this guy is a really good receiver.
Speaking of Hooper, I think he's going to be a bust. I
I wouldn't touch Hooper.
Yeah,
even Njoku.
Especially with Njoku there.
There's too many mouths to feed. That was a questionable signing.
Yeah. Chubb, Landry, Odell,
Hunt,
and Juke. Yeah, there's too many. Too many.
Since we were touching on I agree. Like I mentioned, that tight ends remind me of the quarterbacks because there's the top 2. With Goddard really emerging and kind of the inconsistency you see from the Eagles offense. I don't know if I put Ertz as high as Kittle and Kelsey. I think it's their own tier. But
I think Andrews might be better than Ertz this year.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me either. I do think Dallas takes a big step forward and kind of Mike takes a couple of those targets away. But I think it'll also help them that there's probably going to be double teams on Ertz and not Dallas, and Dallas is going to succeed on that.
I'll give you my top 3 sleepers, top 3 busts right here. So sleepers, I think Gesicki of the Dolphins is a solid
team. I drafted him last week.
Noah Fan of the Broncos.
I like him a lot.
And then, like you guys said, Hayden Hurst with the Falcons. But for busts, I don't like Gronk for fantasy.
Yeah, he's my number 1 bust.
Because you look at OJ Howard is still on the team, and then they still have the other guy, the white dude.
Brait.
Yeah, Brait. That's 3 3 tight ends that could start on a lot of teams. That
now
it's like.
I actually depending where Gronk goes. I think Gronk.
I'm not taking him.
But why? I understand what you're saying about Cameron Brate and OJ Howard, but this is Tom Brady running the offense. He got Gronk out of retirement. Do you think he's really going to go to OJ Howard over Gronk? Gronk will have every opportunity to succeed. Brady loves Gronk. Is that going to change in a high power offense now?
Has he ever had a receiver like Mike Evans? Oh wait, he had Randy Moss and he scored 18 or 23 touchdowns. I think Tim's frozen.
He was so shocked by your stats.
Wait, what happened? I was in my Gronk speech, and then just everything stopped.
You were like, "Oh my God, Josh educated me so much that I just froze."
What do you mean educating me so much? I didn't hear anything you said.
Mm-hmm.
What were your reasons against Gronk?
So you said that Tom Brady loves Gronk in the red zone. I mean, how many times has Brady had a receiver like Mike Evans who can go up and get the ball?
I said Tom Brady loves Gronk everywhere. He does. It's not just the red zone.
But no one else has ever had to compete for red zone touches with Gronk. What's his ceiling? 6 touchdowns? I'd rather have someone like Hayden Hurst whose ceiling's 12.
Listen, Tom Brady's in the first new offense for the first time in 20 years. He went and got his best friend out of retirement to come play with him. I think he leans on Gronk a lot. It's something that he's used to. It's reliable. He knows.
What's his snap share going to look like, do you think? I think he's not playing more than 35-40% of the snaps.
Oh, God, more than that.
I think Gronk will either be surprisingly utilized a lot, or he will be used sparingly. I don't know.
Listen,
maybe just for red zone. I don't know.
I'm not saying I want to draft Gronk. I don't want to draft Gronk high, but if you're talking about Andrews, Ertz, Kelsey, Kittle off the board, and I'd take Gronk at 5 and be pretty happy about it.
Oh, there's no way.
And what's his name? The tight end that I drafted was Higbee of the Rams. I think.
I think Everett's really good though. That's the problem.
Yeah, I think Everett's better.
I think Waller's a stud. He's better than Gronk.
Okay, fine. Yeah, fine. I'd take Gronk at 6.
Tim loves Waller.
Waller's great. He's my keeper in one league.
He is. I think he will be pretty good. I mean, Terrell Williams is out for the year. They need to throw the ball someone. He's going to be their number 1 passing option.
That's a good offense, though, by the way. The Raiders, they have a lot of good players on their team.
Raiders could be solid, low-key. Their line's really good. Jacobs is going to have a good year. And
they need help, though. That is a team that has been –
They got receivers. I think Brian Edwards is getting overlooked. That guy's a baller.
we'll see. I want to see him do something. They've had some bad injury luck. If you think about it, Abraham, the first round pick, the safety, he didn't even play last year. Jacobs got hurt, obviously. Max Crosby, after had a breakout year, broke his hand. And Tyrell Williams is already out for the year. Like, they just need some health
Yeah, but honestly, losing Tyrell Williams isn't that bad. Again, he's able to play Ruggs and Edwards every snap.
Yeah.
With Renfro.
Yeah, I forgot about Ruggs. Yeah, Ruggs is going to be that deep threat, though. I don't expect him to get the number one targets.
No, it's going to be Renfro's going to get the number one target. Renfro and Waller are going to get the number one targets, and then the rest are going to go to Ruggs and Edwards.
Yeah. You obviously said you hated Gronk. Any other tight ends that you don't like?
There's tight ends easy to pick on. Like, most tight ends I don't like. A few tight ends I do like is like someone like Jonnu Smith. I think he can be really good. I think Ian Thomas can be really good. I think obviously Gesicki is going to be pretty good. I already talked about Jordan Akins. I think there's a lot of targets up for grabs there. He's going to be pretty good. A tight end like someone like Dan Arnold for the Cardinals, obviously I'm not taking him. He's like the sixth option.
I didn't even know Dan Arnold's name. You got me on that one.
I didn't know the Cardinals had a tight end.
Dan Arnold, exactly. But someone, again, who's getting overlooked, Jacob Hollister for the Seattle Seahawks.
I've never liked Seattle tight ends, though.
They're always good, though.
Yeah, but for fantasy, yeah.
Oh, Greg Olson's there now. I forgot about that.
Oh, that's true. I hope he does well.
All right, so Witten, I believe, is what signed with the Raiders. Does he affect Waller's status?
No, he's there for mentorship.
He's gonna block in the red zone.
Yeah, him probably calling back was a mistake. He really looked like he had nothing.
I don't. He was like, I'm not gonna play for anything but the Cowboys. And then went and did really bad commentating for a year of retirement, and then came back to the Raiders. It's like, what?
Yeah, that was a failed experiment.
Yeah,
I got a good name, T.J. Hawkinson.
Oh yeah,
good quarterback, good situation. No one else there to compete with him. He was really good week one last year, but it was against the Cardinals.
Well, yeah, they love to just give up lots of points to tight ends.
I mean, you're going to talk a Detroit tight end. What about the guy who's in Pittsburgh now, Ebron?
I like Ebron.
He's so hot and cold. It's so hard.
Well, if we're going to talk Ebron, we got to talk Jack Doyle. That guy, Philip Rivers, loves his tight ends.
I think Ebron could do well. Like, Ebron did great with Luck and then not so great with Brissett. But he could do – I feel like Ben would like, a good – he hasn't had, like, a really good tight end in a while, I feel like. So
Heath Miller was his last good tight end.
Yeah, that's the first thing that comes to mind. So we'll see. Yeah. We'll see. Any other thoughts on tight ends, or are we going to go into, like, don't take a defense, don't draft two kickers,
Yeah, I got nothing. Honestly, I don't have anything on defensive kickers, so I'm good after tight ends.
I would say for anyone who, like, I don't know how many people are actually going to listen to this, but, like, if you see, like, the Ravens defense go or, like, the Niners defense go, don't panic and draft, like, Green Bay defense. Like,
defense are just matchup based. Honestly.
Yeah, you'd be better off streaming defense every week.
The one thing I always say with defense is, like, unlike any other position, there can be some weeks that you just can't play them. Like, it doesn't matter if you have the Niners or the Steelers defense. If Patrick Mahomes is coming in town, you're not playing them. You don't want to play them. Like, it's not going to end well for you, regardless if they're a top defense or not, and the first defense drafted in your league.
Yeah, like, if I had the Bears the year that they were amazing, and there were definitely matchups that were not favorable, and I would bench them because it's like I don't want certain players going off. So
speaking of matchups, let's talk week one. So you're not going to want to draft the defense until the last round if you're going to want to take the Philadelphia Eagles against the Washington Redskins, or you don't want the Indianapolis Colts against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
That could be a good pick.
That's a very good point. Look at you. You know what? We didn't have it in our draft set, so that's going. Those are the notes.
The first round pick, Tim takes the Eagles defense.
Yeah.
For their week one start against the Redskins.
All right. So, any final thoughts?
Yeah. So, I think a few quarterbacks that we didn't really touch on. I think Daniel Jones outplays his draft position. He's going to have a really good year. This guy,
I could see it.
He's a good quarterback. Their line's going to be much better. Their offense is going to be better. I think he's a good quarterback.
Okay.
We didn't touch on him at all.
I think he's decent. I'm not on the hype train yet.
I don't think he's gonna light up the field.
But I think he's a very
He'll be
serviceable
a solid
fantasy quarterback.
starter.
I would be surprised if he lasted all year as a starting quarterback, a fantasy starting quarterback.
He's definitely – oh, okay.
If I draft Daniel Jones, he's a backup on my team.
Depends on who you draft.
Yeah.
No, that's what I mean. Like I would have to draft a quarterback because I would not feel safe.
But would it really shock you if Daniel Jones came out there and was like a top 8 quarterback?
Yes, it actually would.
Really?
Yeah.
You averaged like 20-something points per game last year per start. He just fumbled a ton.
Fumbling is a problem. Then
their line was god awful.
I need to see them play well before I start thinking they're going to suddenly figure it out. Like their line, I've heard they've been trying to improve this line for the last 5 years.
Oh, I didn't talk about a tight end that I needed to talk about. Chris Herndon. That guy's good. Yeah, he's good.
Good, but
we just shit on Le'Veon Bell because he was on the Jets, and now you're going to take.
No. Chris Herndon's good. I like Sam Darnold. I do. I think he's a really good quarterback.
No, I don't like anything that has Adam Gase's name on it.
Chris Herndon must have been sitting at the top of our ESPN draft for like 5 straight rounds. Like no one wanted to touch him. So I don't know.
Did you touch him?
I didn't touch him.
Okay.
Not into that.
I like Chris Herndon. I think he's a really, really good tight end. I mean, I think Darnold, when he played last year, he was good when he didn't have mono. I mean, we went out there, he put on a show against the Cowboys on prime time.
7 games.
True. Yeah, it's true.
I mean, you don't want to get mono.
Mono would be bad.
I think Darnold has the potential to again take the Daniel Jones step forward to having a really productive season.
But how do you think Darnold is going to have a good season, but then Josh Allen with better weapons is not? Because
I think Darnold's better than Josh Allen.
I disagree.
Yeah, I don't know about
that. At least Darnold can throw the ball. Josh Allen has no idea where the ball's going.
But Josh Allen can run too, though.
Yes, he can run, but how much is he going to run? You don't want your quarterback running the ball.
Yeah, sure.
Again, he's in the pocket and he has no idea where the ball's going. He had the worst deep ball in the entire league, but he's got one of the strongest arms.
I don't think he's like Mahomes no-looking every time he passes the ball, but I think you just don't like Josh Allen.
It doesn't excite me.
I like him.
Yeah, me too. So
I'd much rather go with someone like Stafford. I think Stafford's way better.
That's fine.
Especially for fantasy.
Yeah, I think Stafford and Matt Ryan are pretty solid takes for starting quarterbacks, especially with their weapons. So
yeah, you can't really go wrong with those two. Stafford, a little injury history, but he's been really, really consistent the last 4 or 5 years and playing other than last year.
Yeah.
My kind of wrap up of looking at the draft is you need to make sure in the first 3 rounds you have 2 running backs and a receiver by the time you get to round 4. Just because running backs are so hard to come by. So don't reach on quarterbacks, and then 2 running backs and a receiver in the first 3 rounds.
Feel that?
Wow. Yeah, I agree. And if you do reach on a quarterback, make sure you get 2 running backs with it. You don't want to be starting Devin Singletary.
Yeah, I agree with you there. But that's good. So, yeah, all right. Well, that's all I got. I'm signing off because I'm ready for some basketball. Game 7, baby. The Heat might think they're going to beat the Bucks, it looks like.
The Heat are good.
The Heat are good. I'm surprised that the Bucks are struggling this much.
Jimmy buckets, man.
Yeah. All righty. Well, it was good to chat.
Yeah, it was a good chat. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to be the number 1 running back.
No.
You know what? Take him first overall. Take him first overall in our draft.
I was thinking about it.
Do it. I want to see you do it.
What is shock if he was RB1? No.
No.
So wait, so before we sign off, who should be 1, 2, 3? What's that draft?
In a PPR, it's McCaffrey. It's going to be McCaffrey, Barkley, Zeke.
Yeah.
But just because I think they're going to get the ball to Pollard a little bit this year, just to kind of they just gave Zeke a ton of money. They're going to kind of want him to be good for a while, and Pollard's clearly effective. He's
a solid running back. Pollard's a good option to take.
Yeah, and if you draft Zeke, make sure you draft Pollard. Don't be the idiot to let someone else handcuff your running back.
Yeah, that's a common thing. A good draft strategy also is to take the backup of someone's starter.
Yes.
But a better strategy is to take the backup of your starter. So
yeah, if you draft Dalvin Cook, don't let anyone else draft Alexander Madison. It's just not good.
Yeah. I mean, I snatched up Boston Scott like really late in the draft. I don't know.
But he's on a handcuff. He's going to be good.
Yeah, so, I mean.
You guys are just scumbags that you draft with. You're stealing the other team's handcuffs.
I drafted Chase Edmond and I drafted Alexander Madison.
You guys are scumbags. I hate that I drafted both of you scums. But, all right. I'm headed out. I got to pee, so. Good chat, though.
Yep. See you guys.
Peace.
Peace out.